Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, and I'm sharing my one deck I got for Christmas. So I got one deck for Christmas, which is great. My deck wish list is hidden from other people so that I can decide what I want and don't want. So I only put a couple of things on my wish list, and about 2 decks on my wish list that was public for people to see. And so my sister got me this one, the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle, which I've been wanting for quite some time, by Judy Hall. And I'm loving it so far. My sister enjoys the reading, so we each pulled a card, and then I did a reading for me, and then she did her own reading while I was off, I think taking a shower or something. And what else? I've done other things. I don't know what gets in the air and this on my table. Anyway, so I'm loving this deck. I did quite a bit of research before anything goes on my wish list. I look at images online. I look at YouTube reviews, all of that stuff, before even putting something on my wish list. And often they fall off of my wish list as I learn more about them. Sometimes they come back on my wish list. But this, I'm very happy to have gotten. It's definitely is living up to, it's just a booklet, living up to my hopes for it. And I don't think I had another crystal reading type deck, and I will probably drop that from my list because I don't think I need anything other than this. So this booklet has, a general introduction to crystals. It has some spreads. One of the interesting things that was great, my sister's a massage therapist, very into the physiology end of that, is that they have, now why they didn't put this in with the actual descriptions of the individual stones, I don't know. But they did it separate. Healing qualities or affinities, crystal healing affinities for parts of the body, and they even have space where they could have inserted that, so I don't know why they decided to make it separate. In any case, I like that. It's probably the only criticism I have of this set of cards as a package in general. And talks about, gives you a little bit about the chakras, because that's central to some of what's going on with the stones and how they're used. Healing lattices, and so they have these, and these are what you do intentionally. You intentionally choose cards and lay them actually on your body. Now, I wouldn't say this is a criticism of the deck or the system, but it's a place where my belief is not following the intention of the author, and that is, she thinks that if you have this card, that the card is imbued with the same qualities as the stone, and so it would be the same as using the stone itself or a stone of that type on your own body. And I'm not following her there. I'm sorry. I'm not a believer of that. I think I have to have the stone. I think the stones themselves are important. That chemical quality. Okay. And she has spreads. She's still going into other information. But then she has spreads, and she has, there are some astrological, which she calls timing, associations with some of the stones. I don't think it's with all of them. She has some timing element, I think, with all of them, but they're not always expressed as signs of the zodiac. And So she has the path of the multidimensional self, the square. So these are based on crystal structures. The orthorhombic, so these are based on crystal structures. And the triclinic, I know, and the hexagonal. So she has these various spreads. And it's just a way to lay out the cards. But there are things like assistance, core self, karmic root, ancestral root, insights, something to be overcome, soul, ego, deficit, skills, that kind of thing. So it's very psychological in nature. And then there's ample information on each of the cards, and a full color image. So each one has self-understanding, a paragraph about self-understanding. If you're, for instance, pulling it to, if you're asking, why am I doing this? That's self-understanding. Divination, so in general can be future or advice that is more divination. And to give you an example, this is Muakkite Jasper, and self-understanding for Muakkite is a powerful being, as in you are a powerful being. You have roots that go far back into the past, okay? And then for divination, it's something more practical. Check your diet. Put your skills to use vigorously, So that's the difference between those two. A healing insight, as opposed to what I showed you earlier in the book, which is systems of the body or parts of the body associated with that stone. Healing insight, you are what you eat. Good nutrition with wholesome organic food sustains your well-being. So this is, again, more general than what came in the front of the book, which probably would be something like digestive system. Then it has these 4 aspects down at the bottom there. It says frequency. That's kind of the whole idea of people having vibrations. Earthy to medium, chakra, earth, star, base, and sacral, timing, Leo, soul path, drawing on ancestral wisdom. So I enjoy this. I enjoy what is in the book. I will need to use it as an oracle deck. I think doing multiple cards is fine. Did I do the one that was 6 or 7? And it was getting to be a bit much, partly I think because the deck is new to me. How many? 6. And still that seemed like kind of a lot of information to absorb. And again, it could just be because it's a new deck. Now this has been shuffled and shuffled, so it's not in order. There are suits, so to speak. Let me go through. And you can see them. There's Muakkite again. Muakkite is speaking to me. This one has got a green border. This one has got a kind of a lavendery border. So those borders indicate a suit. And let's look at the suits. So the guidebook is also according to suits. So that lavendery purple is earthy. So and it says multi-dimensional variations. Those are the suits, are the variations, the multi-dimensional variations. So the first, well, I don't think the order makes a difference, but the purple is earthy. And I think there's a total of 50 cards altogether, and there are 5 different multi-dimensional variations, 5 different suits. So there would be 10 in each suit. So the, I don't know, is that the green or the blue? That's kind of the blue. Healing is the blue, kind of a teal color. Healing is the blue. Cosmic is the redder purple, or pinkish. I guess it would be pink. Shows up a little different in the book than it does here, but pink is cosmic. And then there's kind of a dusty blue-gray. That is integration. and then the green is interactive. So, and it seems to, I haven't completely absorbed the system, but it seems to have to do with the aspect of your being that that particular stone is most likely to affect, has the strongest, maybe the strongest resonance with. Alright, so I'm just shuffling for no good reason. So I'm going to walk you through these because they're so beautiful. So that's, well, I'm not even going to say the names. You can see. Now, why does it have 24 in? Oh, Auralite 23 is actually the name. 24 is the number. And that 24, the number that you find it in the book. So it's just easier to locate in the book. Whoops. Whoops. Maybe I should hold it in this hand. It's better for the webcam. There you go. Put them down. I love the photography. They just did such a beautiful job in terms of the photography. That I can see how they would think that it's just like having the stone there with you, but I'm not buying that part. It's hard to see that. There is a little bit more definition than what you're seeing there. It's just my webcam doesn't do contrast very well. So I definitely feel like you can kind of get into the nature of the stone through these photographs. Even if I'm a skeptic in terms of the cards themselves having the same effect as having the stone present. It's so interesting to have pink granite, and I haven't looked this up yet, but the reason it's interesting to me is because where I grew up, there was all kinds of pink granite. I mean, we took it for granted, the granite for granted. And it strikes me as a very quotidian, a very commonplace sort of thing to happen there. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe it has great qualities. I should look that one up too. There we go. That's when I have my hand up here because it's pale. It ends up shifting the light on the webcam so you can see things a little better. Some of these stones I've never heard of before, but many of them are very familiar. And so one of the things I value about this deck is, you know, that I've got stones all around me, and to have a better reference just for the ways these stones can be used. And that kind of gives me some goals the next time I go to a rock and gem show, in terms of looking for certain things that I might add to my collection. I haven't looked at that. I'll have to do that. I'll have to look through here and see how many of these I actually have. Quantum Quattro, whatever that is. Alright. So there's the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. You can expect to see it regularly in my weekly oracle readings because it's just really cool. I can see using this with the bird cards would make for a very spiritual, high vibration kind of a reading. So yeah, cool. I look forward to using them. Very happy to have them. All right, everybody, that's, again, some people are like, well, you just got it. How can you review it? I'm calling it a review. It's more than a first impression. It's not just getting them out of the box. It's using them a couple of times. So, yes, this is my review of Judy Hall's The Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. Thumbs up all the way. Bye-bye.